Buying booster boxes for cards you need is not cost efficient, especially if you play just couple of leaders or colors. Because of that, today we check what singles to buy from OP-11 set. We will go by color, so starting off with red. We received one new leader in OP-11, that is Kobe. Very interesting red-black leader that is mainly focused on navy characters. And because it's a new leader, most of the red support is for the navy type. And which other leader has also navy type? Smoker, red-green Smoker also receives, thanks to the Kobe, some support to the deck. And as you can see, we have a lot of interesting choices, starting with the classic Searcher, Kujiaku, standard on-play Searcher. In addition, activate main if we trash her, then up to one of our characters gains plus 1000 power during this turn. So this is really nice utility for the Searcher, not only replaces itself in the hand, also later can be useful by buffing one of our characters. Next we have Doll, that is a chump blocker but also nice debuffer. If we play her and we trash one card from our hand, if our leader is navy, we give one of our opponent's characters minus 6000 power during this turn. Nice utility play. Then the super rare of the navy red support, Hibari, 5 cost 6000 power character, and on play give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2000 power during this turn, so already very strong on play effect in red identity. And when attacking this character gains plus 1000 power during this turn, then up to one of your navy type leader can also attack active characters during this turn. So if we are able to play Hibari and stick her on board or give her some rush attribute to activate when attacking effect, we have basically 5 cost 7000 power character and also one of our navy type leader. So either if we play Kobe or Smoker, they can attack active characters that might bring a lot of value. And here I have something interesting. In the middle I have Frankie, so this is the only character here that has no navy type. And he's a special card that can strengthen any red deck, because first of all it's 2k counter, so already good inclusion, we like our 2k counters. 4 cost 4000 power, nothing special, but this is direct counter for the Gum Gum Giant or any defensive events, especially for the decks that are able to go white with the characters, because during your turn, once per turn, when your opponent activates an event, all of your characters gain plus 2000 power during this turn. So even if characters are really small, then you make an offer to your opponent. Okay, I will swing at you and now it's your choice. Are you activating the event and you buff all other of my characters, or do you have other way to counter or take life not to buff the characters by plus 2000 power? Then back onto the navy support, we have Prince Gruz, that is 2k counter navy, 1 cost, so Diable Jambe attached to the 2k counter. The problem is that you need to play him and attack with him, and then all of our opponent characters with 2000 power or less cannot activate blocker during this turn. So Diable Jambe, that if you can give rush, can allow all your characters to swing. So AoE Diable Jambe. Then next for the navy is Borsalino, just 1k counter, 3 cost 3000 power, but blocker, and activate main if we rest him up to one of our navy type leader or character cards can also attack active characters during this turn. So we already see a theme of the deck. Kobe really good with controlling the board with such navy support. And then we have the new inclusion in the set. For the first time we have the characters that look like vanilla but have 1000 power less. So here the example is 6 cost 7000 power, and they are also a 2k counter. X-Drake, really good inclusion to any navy deck, and we see 3 different types as well, so maybe even in the future. And 2k counter is always good, 7000 power magic number for attacks into 5000 power leaders or characters. And lastly, we have Great Event. This is a 6 cost, so might look really steep, but let's not forget that Red Rook is also 6 cost, and the effect of the event is that we give one of our opponent's characters minus 4000 power during this turn, and then KO up to one of our opponent's characters with 6000 power or less. So in effect, just with one card we can KO any 10,000 power or less character due to debuff, and because it's just the 6 cost we can combine it with other reducers to KO even higher stat line characters. And also a handy trigger that we already know from the Jet Pistol, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 6000 power or less. Really great event, I can see it being played in any navy type red deck. Moving on to green, we have mostly Fishman Island support, and this is due to two new leaders, that is Jinbe Mono Green and Shirahoshi Green Yellow. Leaders are interesting if you like the characters, if you play for fun, for sure try them out. For more competitive players, the leaders might be not on the correct power level yet, but because we are buffing the Fishman Island archetype, the previous leaders that are Arlong and Hoddy Jones also get some useful characters. Let me show you some examples. We have rare character Arlong that is 7 cost 7000 power, and if our leader is a Fishman type and we have 3 or less life cards and our opponent has 5 or more rested cards, give this character in your hand minus 3 cost. So in a sense, if we meet all the conditions, we have 4 cost 7000 power character, which is super strong and cost efficient. On top of that, we have useful trigger that is rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost 4 or less. Then we have standard searcher Shirahoshi. She's written a little bit different because normally we should have symbol of the dawn for the cost, but this is basically the Bonnie searcher. So we play Shirahoshi, then we rest her, pay 1, and we can look at 5 cards from the top of our deck, reveal one Neptunian or Fishman Island type card and add it to our hand. So standard searcher, but important is that we can target 2 types, either Neptunian or Fishman Island. That is nice flexibility. Then the super rare, that is great, 6 cost 8000 power, already vanilla stat line, and on top of that, on play if your leader has the Fishman or Merfolk type, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So great stat line, very strong on play in the green deck, and activate main once per turn up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type characters can attack characters on the turn in which it is played. So again, we see in this set a lot of effects allow to give pseudo rush to fight for board. And then the 2 next characters we have are Surume and Beard Neptunian. So Surume is from Fishman Island and animal type, and the Beard Neptunian is obviously Neptunian. So they are both searchable by Shirahoshi, and what's interesting here, like X-Drake previously in green, our Fishman Island stuff is getting 2k counter and then slightly lower vanilla stat line that is 5-6 and 6-7 here, but both 2k counters really strong if you can include characters like that in your deck. Then moving on, the last character that I would like to highlight here is also Fishman Island related, but also the Sun Pirates, maybe something spicy in the future with this type. 6 cost 7000 power, 1k counter, and the Fisher Tiger reads, when this character is KO'd by your opponent's effect, you may rest one of your Dawn cards. If you do, play up to one Fishman or Merfolk type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So nice little bonus if you can combo it, especially against removal deck, then you ensure that your board sticks. That is crucial versus black decks. And on play, rest up to one of your opponent's characters. This is really important that there is no cost restriction. You just play Fish or Tiger and rest whatever you want as long as it's a character. And then I have two events. One of them is Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. Very simple effect. You may rest one of your Dawn cards, so in effect for 2 Dawn total, we rest up to one of our opponent characters with a cost 5 or less if we play it on our turn. But if we want to be defensive, we have flexibility of playing this card as a counter, and this is basically a green guard point. Great to see Bandai exploring combining main and counter phases to give the player the choice. And then the last event that I have for the highlight, again 1 cost green event. During counter, up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk type leader or character card gains plus 3000 power during this battle. Then rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost 3 or less. So very great to stop any aggro tactics, because not only we are countering essentially, let's say 7000 power swing for 1 Dawn, but also we are resting one of the other smaller characters, preventing another attack. And useful trigger, as always in green, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 4 or less. Really interesting archetype, the Fishman Island. However, I'm not sure how good they will be in the meta, but if you are an Arlong fan or any other Merfolk or Fishman Island type leader looking at you, Hoddy Jones believers, then this support is for you. And then moving on to the main color of the set, in my opinion, that is blue. And in blue we have some interesting combos. We have Monkey D. Luffy, so-called tier 0 deck, the boogeyman of the upcoming format that includes blue and purple color. Then we have Nami, one of the best looking leaders, especially on the alt art, blue yellow. And then we also see some support for blue purple Reiju that was printed in OP-06. So for the generic support in blue, especially for the new Monkey D. Luffy leader, we have Nami, that is 5 cost 6000 power 1k counter blocker, but with interesting on play effect. If our leader is multicolored, so nice restriction not to abuse her in monocolor blue leaders, we draw 3 cards and place 2 cards from your hand at the top or bottom of your deck in any order. And we know how arranging our cards can be powerful, especially with cards like Secret Rare Sanji, when we manipulate the top choice of our deck and then just chain some powerful boss monsters. And speaking about boss monsters, we have Secret Rare of this set, OP-11, that is Monkey D. Luffy in his Snakeman form, 8 cost 8000 power with rush, and on top of that, when attacking we may trash 1 card. If we do, we return 1 character with cost 4 or less to the owner's hand. And then on top of that, we give 1 rested Dawn card to our leader or one of our characters. So a lot of text on a card, but this is all very powerful. Trashing 1 card is not such a steep cost to return one of the characters with cost 4 or less to the hand. And what's also interesting, it can be any character. Normally we will use it on our opponents, but if we wish to, we can even bounce a card to our hand. For example, we trash 1 brick to bounce maybe a 2k counter. There are a lot of possibilities, especially in blue. And 1 rested Dawn to leader or character is just a cherry on top. Like I said, we have interesting support to Reiju, this time in blue. So we have in blue 5/6 2k counter, so-called vanilla 2k counter. Then we have interesting Yonji card that is 4/5 blocker. And if we have only characters with a type including Germa that we most likely have in Reiju, this character cannot be KO'd or rested by your opponent's effects. So basically the blocker that will block for sure, because he can be KO'd or rested. And normally with blockers, especially the 4 cost, the main problem is that 4 cost is really easy to be rested. But here we have protection from that. And then I think my favorite card for Reiju in this set is 4/5, 2k counter, Windsmoke Reiju. On play, if your leader has the Windsmoke family type, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with type including Germa. So really nice small searcher with a body attached. 5000 power is really strong, and 2k counter is always good inclusion. So we have increased consistency for Reiju in this set. And then moving on, we have the second part of Blue Purple Luffy, the purple color. And in purple we have great leader Charlotte Katakuri printed in OP-11, and for the support we see some nice improvement for Monkey D. Luffy in purple, so-called PCP, Perfect Curve Purple, and because Katakuri brings support for Big Mom Pirates, also Charlotte Pudding gets a little bit of a boost. So 2 cards that are really great in any purple deck that meets the condition to use them, especially Purple Luffy for Charlotte Katakuri is amazing. It costs 8000 power, blocker, but on top of that, end of your turn, set up to 2 of your Big Mom Pirates type characters with a cost of 3 or more as active. Then add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So this card is stacked. So many good things. First of all, blocker with 8000 power. Already great. But on top of that, the effect that at the end of our turn we are restanding Big Mom Pirates, and what's the best is that he can restand himself. There is no restriction. If you play 2 Katakuris, they can also restand themselves, and so on and so on. This is very, very broken, because we have an attacker that becomes later a blocker without any downside. And on top of that, we even ramp with 1 rested Dawn being added. So if you already used some Dawn for the minus Dawn effects, you get them back, no problem. Great card. I think it will be one of the most expensive super rare cards in the set, but for sure worth getting if you play any purple decks. And then I have the event that is really flexible. For 1 cost, main, you may rest 2 of your Dawn cards, so in total 3. If your leader's color include blue, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and rest it. So if we are playing blue purple leader, because for now we don't have more combinations than 2 of the colors, we are ramping for 3 Dawn. But that's not all. The thing that I really like I already said, we can choose. We want to play the event in our turn and then we are ramping, or we can use it as a counter and then it's basically a guard point. And then we have, like I already said, a lot of support for Big Mom Pirates. The cards that I would like to highlight here are the ones that you see on the screen. For the Charlotte Anana, that is maybe not so known character from the Whole Cake Island arc. In this set, she can become a conditional champ blocker if we have any other Big Mom Pirates characters on the board. Then for the ones with a 2k counter attached to almost vanilla statline, we have Daifuku. Moving on, I think the most interesting card for Pudding is Brûlé, because 3 cost 4000 power, 1k counter, but on play you may add 1 card from the top of your life cards to your hand. If your leader has the Big Mom Pirates that Pudding is, add up to 1 Dawn card from your Dawn deck and set it as active. So here we have 2 things. First of all, we take care of the card that we maybe flip, and second of all, we are ramping, so it's perfect, just better consistency for the deck. Then we have Pudding, that is the standard searcher, but again in this set we have some additional secondary effect, that is activate main, Dawn -1, we may rest this character and then look at 1 card from the top of our opponent's deck that is custom made for Katakuri leader, and the next 4 cards that you see presented here are also directly printed to support the Katakuri leader on release, as all of their effects are to play around the cost of the top card of opponent's deck. So we will go more in depth on them on the Katakuri Leader's Guide. And then in black we have already mentioned Kobe, his red-black leader released in this set, and we have a little bit of support for Marshall D. Teach, and the support is the Karibo card. This is interesting that it's 2k counter, champ blocker, but has really steep cost to play him, because you need to on-play trash 2 cards from your hand. However, as we know, per Blackbeard effect, our on-play effects are negated, so we have 2k counter that can become champ blocker just for 1 Don. And the second part of support for the Navy, this time in black part for Kobe, is as follows: 2k counter Aramaki, that if we trash him and our leader is Navy, up to 1 of our Navy type characters can also attack active characters during this turn and then trash 2 cards from the top of our deck. It means again we have additional tool for board control by attacking active characters, and on top of that we are filling up our trash. Then we have Kuzan, that is 4 cost 5000 power character. On play again we are filling up the trash from the top of our deck with 3 cards, and when attacking up to 1 of our Navy type leader or characters can also attack active characters during this turn. So we see the main theme to strengthen our board control this way. Then for the 2k counter we have very good, again 4 cost 5000 power. On play your opponent places 3 events from their trash at the bottom of their deck in any order. So it seems like a filler effect, but what's important is 2k counter with a Navy type. Then I think the most important card and win condition from the super rares in the Kobe deck, that is Helmepo, which is fitting to the manga and anime. 6 cost 7000 power character, and on play you may trash 1 card from your hand, draw 1 card, so already the replacement, and play up to 1 sword type character card with a cost of 8 or less other than Helmepo from your trash. Then place the 1 character played by this effect at the bottom of the owner's deck at the end of this turn. So basically this is a combo with another secret rare from this set, that is Kobe, that I will present later to completely take over the opponent's board. Then we have interesting vanilla 2k 6-7 Bogart, important manga and anime character for the fans. And another 6 cost that we see is the true vanilla Morgan, again Navy type, so really useful vanillas. And champ blocker, that is Reaper, but he is champ blocker with the condition that you need another Navy type character on the board. And lastly, event 1 cost, look at 3 cards from the top of your deck, reveal up to 1 Navy type card other than the event itself. So simple, search top 3 for 1, and the trigger that we are activating event for 3. And as I already mentioned, the second secret rare of the set, 8 cost 9000 power, Kobe with type Navy and swords, so perfect target for Helmepo. And on play up to 1 of your characters can also attack active characters during this turn. And again, we don't have any restriction, so he can buff himself. And when attacking, we may place 2 cards from our trash at the bottom of our deck in any order. So these previous effects that fill up the trash are important to have something to pay the cost. And up to 1 of our leader or character cards gains plus 1000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. So again, we have this theme of buffing our leaders to withstand the aggression of our opponent or maybe reach higher numbers, especially against 6000 power leaders like blue purple or green purple Luffy. And lastly we have yellow, and yellow is very interesting color because they printed a lot of very generic useful cards in this color identity. First of all, we have 2 cost Beji, that is blocker, that is quite usual for Beji, but what is important, if our supernova type character other than Beji would be removed from the field by opponent's effect, we may add it to the top of our life cards face down instead. So very nice protection, not only the blocker but also preventing removal effects, and this card will work really great in green yellow low decks. Then I think the best yellow card printed in this set for sure, that is Zeus 2k counter, that on play we can add one card from the top or bottom of our life to the hand and KO up to one of our opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So not only we are getting resources to the hand, not only this is flexible 2k counter, but also we can KO any 5 cost or less character. That is crucial in this meta because a lot of impactful characters are 5 cost. On top of that, we have homies and big mom pirates types that might be useful in the certain decks. And lastly, another great yellow card that is flexible. We see the main theme of the set, that we have a lot of counter events that are basically guard point with an added main effect. So in total, if we rest 4 Dawn, 1 for the cost and 3 for the additional cost, if you and your opponent have a total of 5 or more life cards, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a base cost of 5 or less. So again, really strong removal, and in case we don't need it, this is just one cost guard point. And here you have it. Those are the singles that I will be buying for this set OP-11. But now it's turn for you. Let me know down in the comments which cards are you going to pick up. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.